Hello, Gigglers. Welcome back to another episode of Giggles and Glutes. My name is Donaé, joined by the beautiful
Zoe.
Today, Zoe and I want to talk about something that hits every single person who is super active, whether it be in the gym, whether you're running, boxing, whatever your flavor of movement is. This is something that all of us are affected by, and that is training burnout. Training burnout is basically that moment where your body is like waving the white flag, but your brain is going, no excuses. Don't back down.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about what burnout actually feels like, what's happening in your body when it hits, and how to train smarter, not just harder, so you can avoid having crashes.
Exactly. So the main question that everybody keeps asking is, what is burnout? Because often you think that it's just you being tired and unmotivated, but it's really a lot more than that.
Right. Training burnout is a form of non-functional overreaching, which is when your performance decreases, not improves from consistent training or stress without proper recovery. And you will often see this, although people who are mostly affected by this, I would say, I think are bodybuilders, because sometimes they're getting into the gym day in, day out, regardless of whether their shoulder is not able to lift again, or if they are just not able to, they are there, they are training, and they experience the highest levels of training burnout because they just don't watch their recovery.
Yeah, that's actually very true. And it's a funny thing that you say that, because a lot of the time when you look at a bodybuilder on the day that they step on stage, you can actually quite literally see how tired they are. I've never seen somebody step on stage and look refreshed. They always look extremely exhausted. And this is what one of the symptoms actually includes, is fatigue that just doesn't go away. Your sleep is extremely poor, your mood is very low, you are irritable, and you basically plateauing or even like regressing in your performance. And sometimes you actually get sick very often because your body is fighting back, wanting you to give it rest. So yeah,
that's because intense training triggers a stress response in your body, and then what happens is your cortisol levels spike, your nervous system is taxed. But if that stress doesn't get balanced out with recovery and rest, it messes up your hormones, your immunity, and your mood. And this is why rest is so important.
100%. And then when you're feeling all of these things, there's this sudden wave of guilt that comes in, which I know all of us have experienced, not once or twice, but many times, where this voice in your head is going, should I push through? Should I push through? But the science is that the chronic stress increases your cortisol, which over time can blunt your muscle growth actually, and even increase your fat storage.
Yeah, so basically what we try to say, pushing through burnout is not just a bad idea, it's counterproductive to your goals in every way imaginable.
Yeah, so let us break it down to how people end up burnt out in the first place, because it's not just overtraining, it's also the under recovery as well.
Exactly. And when you train, you create micro tears in your muscle fibers. That's good. That's that stimulus that we are looking for, but the adaptation happens during rest. No rest, no gains.
This is something that a lot of people struggle to understand. They feel like if they just go, they will get there. But that's not actually how it works. And there's also something called general adaptation syndrome, GAS. And this is how your body responds to stress, alarm, resistance, and then exhaustion. And if you don't, during the resistance phase, you fall almost straight into the exhaustion, which leaves you with basically burnout.
Yeah. And let's be real, a lot of us don't program deload weeks or adjust for life stress. We always preach stick to the routine, stick to your plan, stick to your plan. But sometimes something else is more important than the plan. And that is for you to discern that if your body is feeling stressed and if you're feeling stressed and overstimulated, maybe sometimes you just need to take a little break and program rest into your workouts as well. Program, this is your deload day. You're only going to be walking on this day. You're going to do some light stretching. And then also plan a day where you're doing absolutely nothing related to fitness at all.
Yeah. Something that's also very important is that voice of guilt can get so loud that you actually overlook the day where you just do nothing. And it's not like you're not doing anything. Realistically, you are still doing stuff. Whether you are moving in your house or meeting with friends or going for a walk, whatever, you're still moving. But the fact that you're taking a step away from deliberately putting your body under that stress, that's what we mean. Like you're not making a choice to be like, okay, today I am going to lift heavy and push my limits. Which brings me into our next thing is guilt. Because even when your body is screaming rest, your brain says you're slacking. This is what the conversation is that you're having in your head.
Yeah, and it's so easy to fall into that trap, but rest is so productive. Studies show that athletes who included regular rest and periodization improved their performance more than those who trained at a constant high intensity.
Wow. And also, not to mention that overtraining can mess with your menstrual cycle. And we've seen this in so many athletes, even bodybuilders as well. They hit a certain stage of their prep and their period is like, doesn't even exist anymore.
Yeah.
It also can affect your immune function and again, your quality of sleep. And you're not weak for resting. You're being smart actually when you rest. And I think the main thing for us to tell when our body hit the period of burnout is when you are tired. It's the loudest communicator of your body is fatigue, the loudest. There's no way you can ignore it. Your body is telling you, Barbara, sit down. Sit down, you know?
Yeah. And I think the problem comes from, I don't know, maybe just society as a general where we equate exhaustion with dedication. But there's a difference between discipline and distraction. If you are exhausted, then you are exhausted. That doesn't mean that you're no longer dedicated to your goals. And if you need to take a rest, then you need to take a rest. And this is so important that we don't equate those two things, because if you are a disciplined person, then it doesn't matter that you're taking a rest today, because tomorrow you're going to be back on your bike, back getting the things that you set out to do. So today's rest is not going to harm tomorrow's progress.
Yeah. And it comes down to being smart. If you were to hit the road on a family vacation where your drive is going to take you 20 hours, you will be so stupid if you think that you are going to complete 20 hours straight of driving. At some point, you're going to have to stop the car, shake out your legs, go to the bathroom and rest, and then get back into the car and continue to drive. It's the same thing that applies. Like, you cannot just keep the ball rolling. It's unrealistic.
So, because we like to keep you informed, we are also going to tell you how to prevent burnout. And here are some tools. How do you structure training to stay consistent without burning out?
So, first thing I would say is periodize your training. This is very important. And this means that you're basically planning your progressive overload across your phases. So we go from strength, hypertrophy, endurance, and then with built-in deload weeks every 4 to 8 weeks. And this can differ from person to person because, again, none of us live the same lifestyle. None of us do the same thing every day. None of us have the same amount of stress. So the time for your deload week or your rest week will differ from person to person. But in a whole, we're looking at about 4 to 8 weeks cycle.
Yeah. And deloads aren't slacking. They're essential. like I mentioned earlier, the research has shown that reducing training volume for even just a week can reduce fatigue and increase your long-term strength gains.
And I'm pretty sure that a lot of you, for those of you who are listening, who go to the gym or you are regularly active, when you take a rest and you come back, you actually feel stronger. I know that this has happened to so many of us. You come
Yeah.
back and you expect your body to be weaker, but actually you're like, whoa, I eat a new
Yeah.
PR maybe. And it's
Yeah.
because you were resting, but also you took that step back because you approaching your training with intention, as we should, as all of us should, because not every workout needs to be to max intensity. You could blend your strength days with mobility, conditioning, or even active recovery days. And that sort of density keeps your nervous system in check as well, which is the most important.
Yeah. And I was actually just thinking this is obviously the perfect time to work on other types of things. Like, let's say you have a visibly stronger left arm to your right arm. This week in your deload week, you can work on whatever you need to in order to improve that. Or if you have a flexibility issue in your hips or in your shoulders or whatever, you can then use your deload week to work on those specific issues that you have. Or if you don't have any specific issues, you can do things like yoga and Pilates to help improve your balance. And yeah, I think deload weeks are super, super essential. And honestly, some days, ask your body, not the calendar. Check in with your body. If your heart rate variability is low or your rate of perceived exertion, which is RPE, feels sky high for just your warm-up, then maybe that day needs to pivot and change into something else. Even if you went into the gym thinking, oh, you're going to smash this hectic strength workout now, and after or during the warm-up, you start to feel like, oh, actually, I'm not in the mood. That's okay. Go get a mat, go do some stretches if you still want to stay. Yeah, it's okay to pivot the plan. It's 100% okay. Just don't leave the plan behind.
Yeah. And this doesn't mean that you're taking consecutive rest days in a row, 3, 4, 5 weeks. It's just you taking a step back and you're doing smaller, less intense movements, but you're still moving your body. And you can actually take this outside of the gym. So let's talk about recovery outside of the gym, because what you do after your training matters just as much as what you were doing while you were training.
And the biggest one is sleep. This is when your body repairs, your hormones get reset, your brain detoxes. Aim for about 7 to 9 hours every night, and you will feel or see huge differences in your energy levels during the day. One study showed that just 1 week of poor sleep reduced reaction time, strength output, and endurance. So I'm sure if you wanting to train and really wanting to achieve great levels in your training and in your performance, then you have to take your sleep serious as well.
Yeah. And on top of that, my favorite thing, food. The fuel, our main fuel. You need to have adequate calories. Like, I cannot stress this enough. Especially your carbs. And we did an episode on this, and if you didn't see it, you can find it in our YouTube channel.
We'll link it in the video.
Perfect. And also to replenish your glycogen stores, and that is your energy bank for performance. You know what's funny? This morning, my client went cycling at 4 a.m. and we had a session at 9. So he went to cycle and then he came to the gym at 9. And we're busy building his strength specifically on the bench press because he really wants to focus on this. So the training at the moment is around this one movement, obviously with everything else, but this is his goal. So last week he hit a PB, and then this week now we're still on the same weight. So he's on the bench, and at 40 kg, he fails at 6 reps. Last week he did 50 kg for 8 reps. And then he was upset. And I was like, you went cycling this morning. Tell me what you ate. So he's like, I ate during my cycle. I'm like, did you eat after your cycle? No, I didn't eat. I'm like, what do you think is going to happen if you don't have petrol in your car? Are you going to be able to drive it? And he was like, no. So I'm like, exactly. And this is my point. Food is so important. And people think that it's not. People think the less I eat, the better. Wrong.
Yeah.
Very
so
wrong.
So wrong.
So wrong. Here's the point. There are you.
Yeah.
It's like, so off. You know?
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, preach, my babe, preach. Low carb, low sleep, high training is a total recipe for hormonal chaos. You're going to get cortisol spikes. Leptin and ghrelin are going to be out of whack, and those are your hunger regulating hormones. And your cravings are going to be out of control. This is what happens when you think that you're going to cut out a lot of food and then then I'm going to lose all of this weight. But inside, your body can't cope with all that because you need the energy. You then have a cortisol spike because your body's under stress on the inside. And when your cortisol is high, your body is in a state of inflammation, and that's not good for you. You can't lose weight when your body is in a state of constant inflammation as well. It's just also unhealthy.
Yeah. And something that people also ignore is hydration. And hydration by even 2% can lead to fatigue and reduce your strength output. So water is important. Electrolytes is important. And especially if you are sweating a lot or you are in hot climates. So if you are in where I am in the UAE and you're listening to this right now, this should be by your side all the time, especially when you're training as well.
Yeah, and especially when you're in the hot climate, the electrolytes is everything because you are just constantly sweating so much and losing so much salt and from your amino acids. Yeah, important to replenish with electrolytes. I would highly recommend doing that. For us in Germany as well, it's so freaking hot at the moment. Not today, but And let's not forget the mental recovery is just as real that you need from all of this. The meditation, the nature, journaling, being outside, going for walks, all of that good stuff that supports your parasympathetic nervous system.
And it's even so evident because have you ever found yourself after you went really hard in the gym and you get in your car, you're about to leave, where you just sit? You don't move, you just sit. Because for a lot of us, and maybe not all of us if you're superhuman, but for most of us, when you're going into the gym and you've worked really hard in the session, you've had to dig so far into your mental to be able to push yourself to break certain boundaries or certain blocks in the gym that your brain needs a minute to just recoup and be like, what did I just do? I just came from battle, basically. You know, I just need a minute to regroup with myself and then I can carry on. And even that alone is a sign that you need time to just rest and come to. So if you are feeling sluggish, unmotivated, and just overall sore all the time, then please do not only us, but yourself, most importantly yourself, a massive favor and check in with yourself. And it might not even be a lack of motivation. It may just be burnout.
Yeah. And rest, like we know, doesn't erase your progress. In fact, it unlocks it. So please take the time that you need because growth doesn't happen when you train. It happens when you recover.
Sure. Can you say that louder for the people in the back? Just like say that louder.
So take the rest day, guys. Eat the carbs. Sleep the full 8 hours because the strongest athletes aren't the ones who train the hardest. They're the ones who train the smartest.
Words from a philosopher. And they also listen to Giggles and Glutes, obviously.
Obviously.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. We really hope that you resonated with it in some type of way and that you are able to shed some light on things that you may be feeling or maybe things that you were actually ignoring. Zoe and I are very happy to call you out on your burnout and tell you to pause. So if you know somebody who needs to hear this, then please go ahead and share this video with a friend or family or a client. Even if you are a coach that your client doesn't want to listen to you, maybe they'll listen to us. And don't forget to tag us on Giggles and Glutes.
We love you. Your muscle loves you. Your nervous system definitely loves you when you sleep.
So please go out there and take care of your body because she is doing her absolute best.
Until next time. Bye.
Bye.